It is the Overreaction Friday mailbag right here on the Commanders Report. Last night, the Washington Commanders lost to the Green Bay Packers, and we're filming this actually during our live watch party last night. Taking your questions immediately after the game, your live reactions, all that great stuff. And if you want to get your questions on a future Commanders Report post-game Q&A, you guys can subscribe to the channel and watch our live watch parties every single week. We go live for every single Commanders game. And for a lot of them, we're going to be doing these post-game mailbags so that you guys can get your reactions to the games on the channel. All right, so make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Join the most interactive fan community for Commanders fans anywhere on YouTube. Got one from my man Caesar Holmes who says, feel for Deatrich Wise and Ekeler. Who do we get or who do we promote from practice squad? Listen, man, I don't think they promote anybody at running back. They already have 4 guys active on the roster, so I think they're just going to roll with Bill Krosky-Merritt. They're going to roll with Jeremy McNichols now as the third down back and receiving back. So his role is going to go way up as well, McNichols is, because Ekeler was that third down guy for you, that receiving back, and McNichols, who, by the way, I have a lot of confidence in. He had a lot of good games and plays last year when this running back room dealt with some injuries. McNichols stepped up in a big way. I expect him to do the same here in the weeks to come. And then you got Chris Rodriguez Jr., who we've seen, had a pretty decent preseason, had some nice moments last year as well. So I do believe in this running back room, especially when you got Jayden Daniels, who elevates the room with his legs as well. So I don't think that there's going to be any move at running back. At defensive line, we'll see, but I think they like Jacob Martin. I think they like Javonte Jean-Baptiste. They might even think about putting Jerzon Newton at that spot. Now, maybe not, but we'll see. We'll see what their plan is there. And maybe they grab a guy like Cleveland Ferrell, bring him back up, stuff like that. We'll see what they end up doing here. But obviously, our thoughts and our prayers go out to Deatrich Wise and Austin Ekeler. Maybe by the time this comes out, we get official word or better news than I'm expecting at this point in time, but it certainly seems like their seasons are over, and that stinks. Then we go on from Flucus Van Ness. Says, does the Brian Robinson trade look worse now? Honestly, not yet. I think that there's a lot of optimism and hope that Bill Krosky-Merritt is going to be a really, really good number 1 running back in this league and as early as this year. So, we'll see what Brian Robinson does in San Francisco this year. With Christian McCaffrey already dealing with calf stuff and all the injuries that San Francisco has. I'm sure we'll see Brian Robinson quite a bit in San Fran this year. But I'm looking at the situation here in Washington, and Bill Krosky-Merritt was already the best running back on this team. I mean, with all due respect to Austin Ekeler, every time Bill was out there, the running back position was that much more effective. So, not saying I'm happy he got injured or anything like that, but, injecting Bill more into this offense could make this run game go a little bit more than it has in the first 2 weeks. Then we got one from Cameron Pickett. Says, what free agents should we be looking for at this point? I would say the ones that you look at, the positions you look at, you probably look at kicker. If there's somebody better than Matt Gay out there, you think about adding him. I don't think they will, just because Gay does have a decent leg. And he didn't miss those field goals by much, and they were 50+. So I think the Commanders will stick with Matt Gay, but that's certainly a position to keep your eye on. Wide receiver with Noah Brown, depending on how bad his, I believe it's a groin injury, is. They might look to add somebody. I know we got Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane, and McCaffrey made some catches late in this game, so maybe they give him a shot. Jalen Lane was kind of that next guy up, though, once Noah came out, and he was not impressive today as a receiver, unfortunately. So it'll be interesting to see how they address that, because if you can't find a reliable guy to put on the other side of Terry McLaurin, Terry's going to get a lot of double teams, and that's not good for this Commanders offense. So we'll see wide receiver, maybe defensive line as well with the injury to Deatrich Wise. We'll see what they end up doing there. But those are some free agency positions to maybe keep your eye on here heading into this week. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comment section. Who should the Commanders pick up after tonight's loss? So by the time you see this, it's going to be yesterday's loss. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. Just a second here, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor today. While I'm telling you about our sponsor, let me know if there's a player that you would like the Commanders to pick up. Odell Beckham Jr., a kicker that you like. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. And with that, let's have a word from our sponsor today, where you guys can pick up a Jayden Daniels Commanders jersey today when you go chatsports.com/Daniels. I'm repping one of the jerseys right now that you guys can get on the Chat Sports website. Bunch of different options on there. You guys can get the Super Bowl era jersey. You guys can get the black alternate jersey. You can get, of course, the home and away jerseys as well. I just think Jayden Daniels is going to be a Washington Commanders legend for life. Knock on wood, stays healthy, does all the things he's supposed to. I think that he's going to keep this team in Super Bowl contention for a very, very long time. So if you guys believe in Jayden Daniels like I do, and you guys want to rep his jersey, and by the way, if he becomes that legend, you can wear this jersey even past his playing career. So you guys can go chatsports.com/Daniels to pick up your Jayden Daniels jersey today. Plus, if you click our link, it's down there in the comments and description of today's show, and you make a purchase, we're going to get part of the proceeds of that. So we really do appreciate your guys' support. Chatsports.com/Daniels to make that happen. Then we got on from Wally Goozer. This is Trey Amos, the number one corner. It looks like Lattimore had a rough time in this Packers game. Yeah, it was a tough game for Lattimore, man. And I would say, Amos and Samerstro look like the best corners out there. And those are the two youngins in this Commanders cornerback room. And unfortunately, that was the way it was last year with Mike Samerstro being this team's best corner when Benjamin St. Toast and, Lattimore was getting toasted by A.J. Brown and all these different guys, right? So hopefully Lattimore can turn it around, but tonight was not was not an encouraging performance from Marshon Lattimore, man. I can't say it was. JD5 says, why is Jayden holding the ball for so long? Well, first of all, I think he was holding the ball for a long time in the second half because there just wasn't anybody open. It's really tough to find open windows when teams are playing soft coverage deep down the field and you're trying to push the ball down the field. Plus, Jayden can frankly get away with it. I mean, you want to guess who had the longest average time to throw in the league last year? It was Lamar Jackson because he can get away with it. And Jayden's one of the guys that can get away with it, man. Like Jayden, has just got an incredible ability to feel pressure, get away from it, avoid sacks, and keep plays alive. And those are the type of quarterbacks that you can live with, holding the ball for a while, trying to make plays out of structure. Last year, Jayden was one of the top 3 fastest quarterbacks getting the ball out of his hands in the league. Mental processing is not an issue for him. It's just, when you get to the point where you're down multiple scores in the second half, you have to start passing the football, and the defense knows you have to pass it. There's just very limited opportunities to throw the ball down the field within the first 3 seconds of your drop back, and you got to make things happen, longer than that. So that is why I believe Jayden held the ball for so long tonight. So make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. If you are a real one, the real ones know helping out the channel. The best way to do that is to click that thumbs up icon when you watch our videos. It tells the YouTube algorithm to push this video out to more Commanders fans like yourselves. So if you love the Washington Commanders, you love our show, you want to help us out, click that thumbs up icon. Richard Peterson says, do you think they'll drop Gay? It's not impossible, but because the 2 misses were relatively close misses and because he had enough leg and because they were from 50+, I think they're going to give him, another shot. Now, if he continues to miss kicks in the weeks to come, they're going to replace him, plain and simply. Like, he needs to hit these kicks. And if he hits those kicks tonight, we might be looking at a different opportunity for the Commanders. It wouldn't have been 3 scores when it became 3 scores, right? So even if he just makes one of those field goals, it's a different ballgame. So, if you're Matt Gay, you got to hit those kicks. Those are points that you can't get back once you miss it. He's got to play better. I don't think they're going to replace him. It wouldn't shock me if they do, but I think they're probably going to move forward with Gay, and if he continues to miss kicks, they'll get rid of him, but I think for now he is staying. And from Andrew Kane says, I think we definitely overachieved last year. I don't see us making the playoffs this year. I would disagree, Andrew. I would say at this point, what were we saying about this team? At this point, after week 2, we played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, got railroaded, and then we played the New York Giants, who sucked, all right, top 3 pick in the draft the following year, and they barely beat those guys. People were saying this team was bad. They would win 6 or 7 games. I was even saying that, all right, because I did not believe in the O-line. I did not believe in the secondary. And I didn't think Jayden was going to be as good down the stretch as he was, because what he did in the second half of last season was historic. But now that's where we are at this season. And I think the start to this season was better than the start to last season. And I think, you got ample time to prepare for Las Vegas now. I think, or at least I hope, and I'm optimistic that this team is going to really hit its stride and kick it in gear once we play the Las Vegas Raiders in Week 3. Maybe that's just me being drinking the hopium and the copium here, but I truly believe that. Then we got one from Ben Lampkin. It says, I am not sold on the Packers. This was hype-driven. They look damn good tonight, man. That's all I'm going to say. Now, maybe you can say the Commanders just played a terrible football game. And I think in certain elements, they certainly got their ass kicked, but I think it was more good Packers than bad Commanders tonight. Commanders didn't have, I don't think, that many penalties tonight, if I'm not mistaken. I'm taking a look right now. Just 5 penalties for the Commanders, so that's a lot better than the 12 they had in Week 1. They cleaned those up a little bit more. It was just, the great play calling from the Packers. They have great talent that won their one-on-one matchups. Their defensive line won the line of scrimmage on that side of the ball. And I think they deserve to win this football game tonight. I think they're the better team. Now, maybe in January, the Commanders, once Jayden and Terry get their mojo going a little bit more, they don't get down so early this time around. They have a better start to the game. I think they have a much better chance of winning this game once we get to January. But, Packers, I think I'm pretty sold on them, man. They're a pretty good team. Got one from Backsdoor Chris. Says, Lattimore played so badly today, we should be looking for another corner. He got exposed today by every wide receiver. I gave him a chance because of injury, but no more excuses for him. I don't blame you, Chris. I can't sit here and say that I don't understand your point, because Marshon Lattimore doesn't look like Marshon Lattimore anymore. Like, he got killed today. And like Dontavian Wicks, good route runner. If Marshon Lattimore's your number 1 corner, he shouldn't be toasted multiple times by him. All right, like, he shouldn't have bad holding penalties like he's had these first 2 weeks. Like, right now I would consider him this team's 3rd best corner behind Trey Amos and Mike Sainristil. And for the person that's supposed to be the veteran of the group, somebody that's the highest paid in the group, like, he should be the leader, and he should be the number 1 guy, and he should be the guy that you're tasking with number 1 assignments week in and week out. And, like, I'm not trusting him with those assignments at this point. Commanders banked a lot on him this year to be their number 1 corner, and he's not that. We might look at some – but here's the thing, man. They've invested too much in Lattimore to give up on him in 2 weeks. So you can say they should be looking at a corner, and that can be your opinion. I'm just telling you, as somebody that covers the team, they're not going to, at least not at this point. Maybe at the trade deadline they start thinking about it if he's really playing bad, but Lattimore's not going anywhere, folks. Scale it for me down there in the comment section. How concerned are you with the Commanders' defense? Scale it 1 to 10. I'd put it at a 4. I actually feel pretty good about the front. The front has played pretty well through these first 2 weeks. I thought they held up well against a really physical Green Bay offensive front today. Josh Jacobs didn't play like that lights out today. I think he had less than 90 yards today on like 26 carries or something like that. So pretty good performance from the defensive front and the run defense. It's just the passing defense. They got schooled, plain and simply. Matt LaFleur outcoached Joe Witt and Dan Quinn. That happens in the National Football League when you play good coaches at times. But, yeah, it needs to be better on the back end for sure. And you got to get back to the drawing board. All right, great questions, great comments on today's show, guys. I'll be back with more Commanders content here during the weekend, breaking down what happens in the NFC East, breaking down more stuff, maybe get some free agency targets going for you guys this weekend, something for you guys to chew on, but obviously not the way you want your Week 2 to end here with a loss versus the Green Bay Packers in a game that would have been fantastic for this team to win. But now it's time to regroup. It's time to focus on Las Vegas, and it's time to focus on bouncing back and getting to a 2-1 start. Once we play the Las Vegas Raiders in Week 3. So that'll be it for today's show, guys. Click that subscribe button. If you love our content here on the Commanders Report, you want more of it, and you want it every single day, really do appreciate your guys' support. And until next time, guys, Hail to the Commanders.